Hey everybody, welcome to the Movie Minute. I'm your host, Zach Lackey. Now, January is historically a very slow month for movies, and this year's no different. This week, the major wide releases to choose from are Ride Along 2, Norm of the North, and 13 Hours, The Secret Soldiers of Benghazi, all of which I'm predicting won't be worth anybody's time and money. Now, in all fairness, I haven't seen any of these movies yet, but I'm gonna go with my gut on this one and write these movies off as padding until the big franchises can grace the silver screen. Now, my first example of this week's mediocre lineup is the animated family movie Norm of the North. Originally planned as a straight-to-DVD release, this generic family comedy tells a very familiar fish-out-of-water story about a polar bear traveling from the Arctic to New York City to stop a real estate mogul from building luxury condos over his home. Now, this movie only received 4% on Rotten Tomatoes, and the general critic consensus is to save your money and watch something along the lines of The Emperor's New Groove or something like that. And I'm inclined to agree with them. Next on my list is the buddy cop comedy Ride Along 2. Now, this sequel takes place a year after the events of the first movie, which I opted not to waste my time on. Only this time it's different, because instead of being in Atlanta, they're in Miami. However, the movie essentially has the same premise: stop the bad guy and try to squeeze in as many jokes and explosions as they can along the way. Now, to me, this seems like an example of a studio cashing in on the success of its predecessor in hopes of raking in some easy money. And finally, we have Ted Cruz's pick of Best Picture of the Year, 13 Hours, The Secret Soldiers of Benghazi.
Tomorrow morning, a new movie will debut about the incredible bravery of the men fighting for their lives in Benghazi and the politicians that abandoned them.
Now, I know I can already feel the disapproving stares by lumping these movies in with the rest of this underwhelming lineup, but without even seeing the movie, I've already got some issues with it as a whole. Now, aside from this movie looking like all action and no substance, courtesy of Transformers director Michael Bay, it's already been used to further a political agenda of some of the leading Republican Party candidates, turning what I'm sure was meant to be a tribute into a propaganda piece. Now, those are just my opinions, and feel free to agree or disagree with me on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitter by leaving